Hello and welcome to Ginger Street Boutique. This is Sheila, and today I'm going to share with you a cute little project that would be great for Thanksgiving or Halloween or Christmas or anytime. You can do pretty much anything. But I am making these for little treats for Thanksgiving and for Halloween, and they're little candy boxes, and the idea actually came from the paperpixie.com, and she had this tutorial, and I'm going to do it today for you as well, but I will leave her link below. And inside you can fit two little tea lights, a Ferrero Rocher, any kind of little candy, even a little one of those little mini M&M bags for little treats if you wanted to put treats. But for Thanksgiving, I thought little tea lights, that would look really cute. And you could put this on your place settings for all your guests. And so that's what I'm making these for, little treats. Anyway, this is the Thanksgiving version, and we're going to make one Halloween version on camera today. So anyways, let's go ahead and start. You'll need one 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. Here, let me zoom out a little bit so you can see this a little better. Okay, one 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock. There we go. And we are going to cut that down to 6.5 by 4.5. So we will go 6.5 this way. Oops. And 4.5. Okay, so we have our cardstock like this, okay? Then what we're going to do is we're going to get out our scoreboard, or you can even use, if you have a one of the stamp pads from Stampin' Up. It's the little pad we put underneath for stamping on. You can use this and a scoring tool, or you can use the back side of a butter knife. You could use the flat side of your scissors and a ruler to do that. Any of these items here, you can even use a bone folder as well to do your scoring. But since I have a scoreboard, we're going to use a scoreboard. And what we're going to do here is we're going to take it on the long side. So it's going to be 4.5 this way and 6.5 this way. Okay, so on the 4.5 side, we're going to put it into our scoreboard, and we're going to score on 1.5 or on 1/2 inch. Oops, 1/2 inch, and then 1.5, 3. Oops, and 4. Okay, so then it should look like this. You should have all these score lines. And then here's my template here. So we've did the 1/2 inch, 1.5, 3, and 4 inch. Okay, so we've done those ones. Then we're going to turn it to the side. So it should be on your 6.5 inch side. Then we're going to score at 1.5. On this one, we're not going to score all the way from the top to the bottom. We're only going to score between the second and the third line. So we're going to score these lines right across here, okay? So what we're going to actually do is only this line right here, okay? So this line, and this line, and this one's going to be the long one. But this one, and this one are only half lines. So we're only going to be scoring between this line here and this line here. So we're going to go to the 1.5 line. Then we're going to move down. And on this, you could use a ruler and set it just to the left side. I'm going to turn this over because it slides a little easier. Take it to the left side of your 1.5. And then follow that down because it'll give you into the groove so that you can follow it all the way down. Not all the way down, I'm sorry. from the second and the third line. So right there. See, I already messed up. Sorry about that. So what you're going to do is just put it right there so that you can see between the second and the third lines here. And so we're going to take it at 3 inches here, and we're going to go only from the second to the third line right here. Sorry about that. Okay, right there. And then we're going to go down to 4.5 right here to the side, and second and third line again, and score it right there. Then over here on the 6-inch line, 6-inch mark, we can move the ruler and take it all the way down. This is the only one that we're going to take all the way down. So these other 3 are only the second and third line at 1.5, 3, and then 4.5. And I just went back over there just to make sure I creased it really good. And then the long one all the way down is at 6 inches, okay? Now we're going to make our little marks at the tip top, which are these marks here and then these 2 marks here, okay? And those are only to get our diagonal lines in there. They're just a little mark to mark that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the 2.25 inch mark and take it only down to this very first line across here. So we're only, this little line right here, we're only taking it to this horizontal line right here, okay? So this one right here. So at 2.25, and then at 5.25 right here. All right? Then we're going to flip the paper over, and we're going to do the same thing again. 2.25, and then 5.25. Okay? So then it should look like that. And you should have those little score lines in there. Okay? Then what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how I did my little diagonal lines. I brought in my mat, my stamping mat, and then I took a ruler. And what you do is from the bottom of this up and down line, so the bottom of this little line that we just made, and the top of this line that we made in here between the second and third, we're going to make a score line going across, and then the same thing on the opposite side to get the diagonals. Okay, so what I did is I took my stamping mat, and then I lined up the ruler between the 2 marks, and then I just took my scoring tool, and then I scored it. So it makes a nice score line. I hope that you can see that. Hopefully you can see that. And with this mat underneath, you can even use like a phone book or something soft underneath it, and it'll score. You could even do it on a table. It's really not, you don't have to put a really deep crease in there. But this worked really well, so I thought I would use it. And then, so we're going to do that on all of our diagonal marks here. Okay, and then flip it over, and then we're going to do the same thing on this side. Okay. And on this side. Okay, so we've got all of our score lines in here. Okay, so then it should look like this. Once you get it all done, you should have all of your score lines in there, and it should look just like that. Now, in order to get all of these cute little perforated little things on the handles here, bring back your scoreboard. Or you can even use the ruler again, as I said, with the mat. But you just do it at 1/8 of an inch, 1/8 of an inch all the way across. And it goes pretty quick. When you actually get started, it goes pretty quick. It doesn't take that long to do it. But I'm not going to do all of this on camera. But I will bring out the one that I've already made. That one's already done. And then, so then it should look like this. Okay, you've got all of your little score lines on the edges. This will be your handles. Then what I did is I took a piece of score tape. It's the double-sided, the score and tear tape. It's the double-sided tape, and you put it along the line over here that we did at the 6-inch line that we took all the way from the top to the bottom over here on the end, and I just ran it right along the edge of the score line, and then all the way from the one side to the other. Okay, you don't want it over the score line because then you're not going to be able to crease it. So you want it on the far side of the score line, on this side of it, so that you can still crease it. Then what we're going to do is take your edges where you have your little 1/8 inch score marks and fold it upwards. You want it upwards, okay? And fold that upwards just like that. Then where you have your score line over here on the side, you're going to fold that one backwards, okay? All right. And then where you have your score lines here and here, we're going to fold those back just slightly. Fold those back just slightly. You don't want it too much, okay? Then these little score lines that you have down the middle, we're going to have these 3 in the middle. We're going to just barely score those, okay? Just barely. You don't want to bend the paper all the way through because you don't want it going all the way across. You're just kind of breaking up the paper. Then on all of your diagonal lines, you're going to have all of your diagonal lines here on the sides. We're going to score all of those as well. Just barely score those. Okay, because we don't want the creases to go all the way across the paper. We're just breaking down the paper so that we can fold it easily. Okay, so then it should look just like this. All right. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take the cover piece off of our tape and then gently, kind of, because we don't have a center, we're not folding it in half or anything, but we're gently going to fold this over, and we're going to meet up this edge right along the seam line here with the edge of this side over here. So we're going to meet those up so that it looks just like this, okay? Then we're going to hold that in place, and then on this other side we're going to slowly walk our fingers across, holding it in place so that it folds right on the seam, right across there, okay? And then you have your fingers on the inside and the outside, just pressing it down, making sure it's stuck really well, okay? So it should look like that. Then what you're going to do is, so you have your little creases right there and your little creases over here. We're going to take our paper, and let's make sure that that creases really well, and we're going to fold right here and pinch these together right here on the ends, and it just folds right into place. See how it folds like that? Perfect. So then we come back and we can pinch these diagonals just a little bit more, just to make sure that they stay in place. Flip it over. Okay, there's one side done. Now we'll do this side. And just press slightly, pinch them together. Make sure that they stay in place. And there, see, you have a little box. Perfect. Now to decorate it, I have these little squares of cardstock and designer paper, okay? So the cardstock is cut down, your solid cardstock is cut down to 1 3/8, 1 3/8 across, 1 3/8 long, okay? And then you have your designer series paper that is cut at 1 1/4 by 1 1/4, okay? And then we'll just glue these together. Oops. And you put this one on here. There's one. Here's two. Oops. Get that in place. There's three. And you'll need 4 of each, 4 of the cardstock and 4 of the designer series paper, because we're going to put them all the way around our little candy box. And then here's your 4th one. And then we'll just glue each one of these down to our box. Put one on the top. Now, if you have a design on your designer series paper, such as this one has the little pears and they're going this way, make sure that they're all going in the same direction. Okay, so if you have a pattern on there that they all should be going in the same direction. This one does not have a pattern, so I can just throw these on there. I don't really have to worry about the direction that they're going. It's just little polka dots. And then one more. Now when this was flat, before we started folding it all up, you could have put these on. I just found that either way is easier. This way I can make sure that I'm making sure they're all going in the same direction too. But there we go. So then you want to put your sentiment on. You have to have a sentiment to go on the top like this. So I already had these stamped, already punched out. Oops, where's my orange one? Here's the orange one. And so the scallop that I used underneath is 1 1/4, and then the this in the middle is 1 1/4. The scallop is 1 3/8 of an inch. Okay, so the scallop punch is 1 3/8. The sentiment piece on the white Whisper White cardstock is 1 1/4. And then I just stuck some dimensionals on the back. And as you can see, I used the edges of my dimensionals as well. Don't want to waste any of them. And then I just stuck that right here on the front. Make sure that you put it on the side that doesn't have the seam. Here's the side that has the seam. This is the side without the seam. So this is the front of your box. That's the back of your box. And now you're ready to go. You can stick whatever kind of little candies or little treats, whatever you want on your inside of your box. And there's plenty of room in there to put quite a bit of candy if you wanted to. But anyways, I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial. Go ahead and go out and try it. I will also leave the link to Paper Pixie's website or her YouTube channel so that you can follow her along as well. And check out some of her other really cool projects that she has on there as well. A lot of cute little treat boxes and little things on there that you can use for any time of the year. Actually, it doesn't just have to be holiday projects. But anyways, I hope that you had fun. Hope that this inspired you to go out and try one of these. And have a great day. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.